Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in. On this channel, I do deliver content on social work in general, but also particularly focusing on practicing with children because that's my daily job, really. In today's video, I'm just going to talk to you about the 5 key tips that I'll give to children social worker to stay organized, manage your workload effectively, and achieve your goals. So these tips are not going to be exhaustive, but it might help somebody out there who needs this kind of information. Right, I don't claim to be a guru in social work, but these are just nuggets from my own practice and the way I've been managing things for the past 20 years that I've been practicing, really. So stay tuned if you can grasp 1 or 2 points from this video today. Point number 1, prioritize and plan your caseload. This is really important because when you know your caseload, you've got your cases already. You know what's a priority, what needs to be done. If you've got court cases, you need to be mindful about the court dates and plan on when that report needs to be written up. You need to be making use of to-do list. That's one simple way of making sure that you don't forget about any task that needs to be done. It's there on the list. If it's done, it's ticked off. If it's not, it remains on the list. It's carried over to the next day. But you need to make sure that your to-do list is actually realistic. The other important thing also is when I talk about prioritizing and planning your work, you need to be playing with your stats. Know your stats. When you receive your stats for that particular cycle or for that particular week or time, you need to be mindful about, okay, fine, from my stats, this takes priority, and you should be able to run with it. You need to plan your week in advance, allocating time for your visits, your reports, and your admin work, making sure that your calendar, you know exactly what you'll be doing at each and every given time, but giving yourself time for breaks as well, and making sure that you're hydrated and stuff like that. You need to be setting realistic goals for each day to avoid feeling overwhelmed by the work that you are doing, actually. Point number 2, you need to be utilizing technology and the tools available to you. If you've got any tools that will make your work easier, I know some local authorities are using Copilot, some local authorities are using AI. If there are tools that you can use to make your work easier, you need to be mindful of using those tools, but you need to be humanizing whatever you are getting from some of those tools. Use your calendar, your reminders, your case management software, whether you're using LCS, Liquid Logic, Eclipse, Mosaic, whatever it is that you are using. Sometimes it even tells you when those assessments are due, and if you're able to get them done before the assessment date or the due date, then please do that, because it gives you time to breathe and focus on other important things that you may need to be doing, so that it can actually enable you to track the deadlines as well. Keep digital templates for common reports. For example, if it is agents checks, you need to be keeping some common templates easy and accessible, so that you just change the details, complete, doesn't take you 5-10 minutes, send it off, and then you are off, rather than starting from sketch each and every time you need to be completing a report. And with time it becomes second nature, and you'll be able to actually know the things that you need to be including in each and every particular report. There are some technologies that are being used, for example, voice notes, dictation software that can be used when you are done with your visit. Just dictate to it on Microsoft Word. Is there, just dictate on it, it writes everything for you. You just copy and paste, put it there, and off you go, rather than you starting to type everything into Microsoft Word. And that will help you to work on the go, whether you're sitting on the train or whether you are sitting somewhere. You can actually be able to do some of that work, as long as you are making sure that it's yourself who is having eyes on that particular screen. Remember GDPR, there are some times that you can use your equipment in a public place as well. Point number 3, you need to be setting boundaries and avoid burnout. This is really important. Otherwise, you might have burnout. I know of people that have had serious health issues because of burnout. You need to stick to working hours as much as possible by avoiding chit-chat, because I know some people can spend an hour or two chit-chatting or out smoking, whatever it is, taking a smoking break, which is supposed to be 10 minutes, turns into 30 minutes, turns into an hour. That just eats away into the time that you need to be doing the work that you need to be doing, because at the end of the day, you may not be able to finish everything within working hours. Taking work home, you need to be avoiding taking work home unnecessarily, only when it is necessary for you to be doing that. Believe me, I do take work home sometimes, but I don't do it every day. I don't do it every weekend. I don't do it each and every time, but there are times when I need to be doing it to make sure that my work is within time scales. But it shouldn't be a habit that you can't finish your work during working hours and then you take it home. So you need to be mindful about retracing your steps, looking at which times are you wasting time not doing your work, doing other things. Like I said, the things that I know the most from experience that takes away your time is chit chat in the office, or sometimes taking breaks longer than necessarily. If your tea break is 30 minutes, 30 minutes, go and come back and do other things. If you want to take a 5 minute break, or a 10-minute walk from your screen, that's fine. But taking excessive breaks of a couple of hours away, when you have gone out just for a smoke and then it degenerates into an hour, into 2 hours, then you can be assured that you can't finish your work within working hours. The other important thing within this point is don't be afraid to say no or to delegate when your workload is too heavy, or when you feel that you can actually get some support from some of the team members who might be there to support you. If your team has got a social worker assistant, remember there are some tasks that you can actually give to your social worker assistant, or that you can ask the social worker apprentices who are there to support you with. But be mindful of what it is that you're asking. And depending with some of the teams, you might need to be going through your senior practitioner or going through your manager to make sure that you get that support. Otherwise, if it becomes a habit again, some team members may start to resent you, or they may start to push back and feel that you are just there to push your work to others. So you need to be mindful of that. Only use that chance, or only use that provision when it is absolutely necessary. Point number 4, you need to be keeping your case notes and reports updated, making sure that you are always on top of your work. Write up your case notes soon after visits while all the details are still fresh in your mind, and keep concise and clear records to avoid backlogs, because once you've got a backlog, it becomes a bit overwhelming and you won't be able to do anything. So you need to be mindful about that. You need to develop a habit of ending your day with reviewing what needs to be done on your cases and knowing exactly what you need to be doing the next day. And planning your days also helps you to make sure that you stay on top of whatever that needs to be done. Point number 5 is to make use of your supervision, seek support, reflect regularly. And peer support is also important for you to be able to talk to the colleagues, share advice, get advice from them, share workload tips, and you'll be able to navigate your work, through that way, really. And you need to be somebody who is very reflective. If there are things that you're not doing well that you think you can improve on your own, you need to be mindful of that and focus on that and get that specific area of your practice improved. With those few nuggets, I hope it has helped somebody. If you feel you've got a few points or additional points to add, please put your comments in the comment section below, and let's start a conversation, so that at the end of the day, the purpose is for us to learn from each other. Thank you so much. Be kind with your comments, because everybody else has got access to these videos, including children as well, including teenagers who are intending to go into social work. So be mindful of that. Thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, hit that notification bell, so that when I post, you'll be the first person to know. Thank you so much.